Good morning, everybody. I'm a little bit behind. We're just going to light this fire real quick. Nothing really magic about it, y'all. It's just that I've put a piece of old paper towel that's just not like completely gross in there with a little alcohol on it, and poof, it takes off. I don't do anything like, whatever you call that, like cutting it all into little pieces and the fuzz on top, or no, I don't do none of that. It works pretty well. And as soon as it takes off, the heat makes it pump like a rocket, like a ramjet rocket. So it artificially produces its own draft. That's why it's taking off kind of quick as it does. Let's get to what I was wanting to say today. And it's about why all this is happening, y'all. And some of y'all get it. I mean, from some of y'all do, but some of y'all just like it's over the top. This is about power. It's about control, definitely about control, and it's about usurping what has been in control for the norm or whatever. The American dollar is the standard trade, currency. The all the disruption, all the chaos in Washington, all the chaos with Elon Musk, all the chaos with Russia, all of it is to do with what's called BRICS, not the British exit from Europe, but the or that's Brexit, I think. BRICS is the Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South America. It's a coalition of countries, but they're trying to start a cryptocurrency, a gold-backed or a gold-secured, bonded, whatever you want to call it, crypto. With blockchain, stuff like that. And when you think about it, those are the countries that are basically wealthy in gold. Their economies are all crap, but they're wealthy in gold, and they're just looking for a new standard, which I can honor, I can respect, I can do all that. But to do it the way they're doing it, waving the American flag, beating on the drum, pretending they're patriotic, using good people. See, I worked in nightclubs for over 33 years. Some of the best people in the world, I mean, their heart is in the right place. They're misguided. They're not intellectual. I mean, some of them are book learned. I'm not saying they're like dumb. Some of them are extremely book learned. That's the sad part. But they're like the yes men of Nixon's era. They want the big strong figure that's going to be there to save them. It's a part of who we are. If you believe in evolution in the least, and I take it with a grain of salt, but we share a common ancestry with like monkeys. Monkeys don't pick the most intellectual leader. Monkeys don't pick the wisest leader. Monkeys don't pick nothing. It doesn't work like you think democracy should work. Democracy says we're going to have scientists and Nobel laureates and those kind of people leading us into the future. Monkeys go for the most violent, stupidest leader. The one that is just utterly dumb. Violently dumb is what I'm trying to get at. I don't mean like, just violently dumb. That's who they choose. That's who they'll follow. In the yes men of Nixon's era, the loyal, die hard, that's what they got. And they're playing on this. These are professional grade carnival con men. If you've never been taken at a carnival, you probably don't know what I'm saying. But my dad, he like, like some people don't like alcohol and you're raised, like you can't even sniff the cork kind of thing. My dad despised gambling, like to the umpteenth level. And I was maybe 7, 8 years old, and there was a county carnival. And I went there, and it was just a con man, and he had two or three games he was playing. It wasn't just one. He was pretty. He changed it up depending on the crowd that he was with. And I stood back and I watched, and that's normally all it took my entire life, is just to watch other people make mistakes and then say, "Ooh, I didn't need to do that." But he was slick, and he was playing to me, even though I wasn't playing the game. In about 5, 6 times, I could see the pattern, and I said, "Well, I got the pattern, but I didn't understand it was a con. That's all it was, is just a con." My, I went, I lost what little bit of money I had, a couple bucks, because I went there right from school, kind of thing. This is the South, and you could do that back then. They even let out school early. I went home, got a little bit more money. I think my mom may have asked me something about it. She didn't stop me, and I went back to the Carnival. Well, I abruptly lost that as well. And this is about 3, 4 miles. This day I probably put in about 20 miles. I went back home, and my dad questioned me. I guess him and my mom had talked or something. In hindsight, I'm thinking this is he questioned me about it. I told him what the deal was. He said, "Son, that's a Carnival con," and but didn't stop me. But he went with me this time, and so we went back up. And this guy took my money yet again, and my dad was explaining exactly how he was doing it, but I couldn't see it. So I understand when some of y'all don't understand. You understand when parents lie to their children every day of their lives about the Easter Bunny, about the elf on the shelf, about Santa Claus, and then they expect them to understand the truth. It's not possible. My mom and dad kept it so real with me that it was painful. I just got to say it that way. There should be a little magic in a child's life, not unnecessarily, but a little bit. Don't crush all their dreams is what I'm trying to get at. But my dad went back up with me, and now I'm quite a few dollars in. I'm probably not 100, but getting closer to it by the time he took me back up there. And I wanted to go back home, and the whole time he was telling me, "You go right ahead. You do however you need to do, but when the dust settles, don't blame the con man for being who he is. He was entertaining you." And in the end, I lost over $200. I didn't have no more money. It wasn't like he was going to lend me money. But he definitely wanted me to run and have the sourest taste in my mouth that I could get, is what it came down to. And I did. And to this day, I hate gambling. To this day, I despise con men. If I can smell a con, I instantly, the hair on the back of my neck comes up, and I want to punch them in the mouth. Repeatedly, hard. Just punch them until the stupid words stop coming out of their mouth, kind of thing. But that's just what it takes to make you not fall for it every day of your life. I thank my dad. He's been long past dead, but I thank him for that day so many times I could not even count, because it was a great learning lesson to me. And y'all are going to see this hindsight pretty clear. Trump, if you try to say, "Oh, his trade policy is some kind of magical maniac genius thing and he has a plan," no, that's not real. And you can't make that. Nobody who's ever been in his inner circle that was respectable has ever said he's anything but a fucking idiot. That's the nutshell of it. They've used other words like moron and pedophile and all kinds of stuff. Perverse when it comes to his daughter. There's a lot of words they use for him. But nobody has ever said this man is an intellectual business tycoon. That just never came out of anybody that's reputable. is what I'm trying to get at. He's very good at what he does. That's why the KGB recruited him. And if you consider that he was recruited in 1987, and everything he's done has been for the same purpose, and that's basically to stick it to the bank, to stick it to the dollar, to stick it to business, to stick it to anybody he could, and still avoid prison. That's his number one goal. That's why he decided to be president again, like a year before anybody else even thought about coming on stage. He just didn't want to go to prison. That's all it is, y'all. He's a convicted felon. He's a convicted criminal. And that's not even the espionage and treason that he's despicable. But the BRICS thing, that's all they're doing. The where's the gold in Fort Knox? Y'all, that's been like broke up years back because it was just too much in one place. So they moved it around the country to other like mini Fort Knoxes or whatever. But the gold is all there. It's all accountable. Now they want to say, well, there's some big fund or whatever that they're trying to corporately raid our government. This money does not belong to them. Nothing is theirs. Nothing is even ours. This is for national security. Should we have tapped into it years before instead of raiding Social Security repeatedly, raiding the Veterans Administration repeatedly, and all the other corporate raiding schemes that these billionaires and assholes have done? Oh yeah, we should have. But did we? No, we never faced another global war. And this fund has been around since the Civil War, y'all. Do I want to get into that? No, that's a whole different discussion. But that's what they're trying to raid. And it is an excessive amount of money. The billionaires will take the biggest thing and they will rob. What they're going to do in the end is leave America friendless, defenseless, broke, rolled in the mud, screwed up the ass. I mean, this is the plan of these people. All of them. And they can say, like any other if you're too far away from the illusion, you can't see it. If you're too close to the illusion, you can't see it. Is there a special perfect place? Yeah, maybe off to the side or whatever with your eyes open. But at some point, it's just an illusion, y'all. This is a magic trick. And they're going to walk away and poof, you're going to wake up naked, muddy, rolled in the dirt, robbed, in friendless. That's what this is about, y'all. And this is their collective plan. Whether, if you want to say, oh, it's the plan. Well, y'all take that to the whatever you want. You know, I'm just trying to throw it out there. It was a learning lesson my dad taught me. It was a brutal lesson. But it was a very good lesson. This is going to be a brutal lesson for y'all because some of y'all, you can't see it, bless your heart. You wouldn't accept it if you could. I mean, that's kind of on you, though. But I'm just saying some of y'all can't see it because you're like 2-year-olds that have their eyes closed and they say they're invisible. Bless their heart, kind of thing. All right, y'all. Talk to you then.